Hello everyone, welcome back to Speaking Spurs with me, Kieran, talking all things Tottenham, and deal done. Micky van de Ven is through the door. We finally got a top centre-back through. I'm not discrediting Ashley Williams whatsoever, but obviously he is a youngster, one for the future. This deal's been done. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk through the club announcement, a little bit about what I think, and also why he was the better option than Tapsoba. So, for those of you that haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to support it with a like and put your comments below. These are all things that help the channel grow, and that means we get to spread things further. Also, apologies that I'm videoing in my car. However, as I explained yesterday when I was videoing outside, the place that I work is very busy, school holidays, and also it's raining because that's what it does in the UK summer. So I'm confined to the car. So, club announcement. We're delighted to announce the signing of Micky van de Ven from VfL Wolfsburg, subject to international clearance and work permit. The defender has signed a contract with the club that will run until 2029 and will wear the number 37 shirt. Born in Vormer, Netherlands, Micky spent his early years locally with WSV 30 Vormer before joining FC Volendam's youth team in July 2013, progressing through the ranks to make a total of 48 senior appearances and scoring twice. An athletic centre-back, the 22-year-old earned a move to VfL Wolfsburg in August 2021 and made 41 appearances for the Bundesliga side in all competitions, scoring once and registering 3 assists. At international level, Micky has featured 11 times for the Netherlands under-21 side, featuring in the UEFA European under-21 Championships earlier this year. He was also named in the preliminary squad for the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Speaking exclusively to Spurs play, Micky's excitement at joining us was tangible. He said, "I know Spurs is a beautiful club, an amazing club, a top club in the Premier League. Those are the things I know. Every time I see a player sign for Spurs, I think, wow, it'd be amazing to sign for an amazing club like that. I'm so excited to be part of the future of Spurs." I was at the game, and he's talking about the 5-1 win over Shakhtar Donetsk, and I saw the way of playing from the manager, from Ange, and I really love it. Offensive football, exactly what I want, even from a defender. It looked amazing at the game yesterday. Every time we had the ball, every player, there is so much quality in the team. So, about Van de Ven. So he's tall, stands at 6'3", 6'4", describes himself as calm on the ball. But it's his sheer pace that has caught the eye of many teams, not least a sprint back to make a clearance for Wolfsburg against Union Berlin in a DFB Pokal tie in January, where the goalkeeper, Pavel Pervan, up from a corner, Micky sprinted from his own half to block in front of an open goal from Jerome Roussillon. Now, I know a lot of you will have seen this already, but if you haven't, just have a look at it on social media, YouTube, whatever. It was just fantastic to see the desire in the young lad. So what he said, "I'm a centre-back, a tall guy. I think I have some speed, so I can play in a high line, offensive football between the lines. I think I'm quite calm on the ball, and hopefully I can help the team," he said on his own style, and asked how he expects the Premier League to differ from Holland and Germany, added, "Every player will be top. So I have to be ready for this stage, and I'm really proud I can play on this stage. To play every time against a top club and playing for a top club, for me, it is an incredible feeling to be in the Premier League." So at 22, he certainly has plenty of experience under his belt already, including approaching 100 senior games in Holland and Germany combined, wearing the armband. He said, "I think it will help me, yes. A full year in the Bundesliga. In some matches I have become a captain," he said. "I think I can learn so much here. Every day on the training ground with top players, top facilities, everything is top here. Top fans, top stadium. I think I can develop more here, and hopefully I can become a really great player for Spurs." And we certainly hope so as well. So the deal is reported to be around the £43 million mark. He, in terms of comparisons, has been likened to Virgil van Dijk, which can only be a good thing, seeing as he's somebody that we very much admired before he went to Liverpool, and at Liverpool up until last season, where I think the whole squad suffered a little bit. Incredible centre-back. Last season, he was actually the quickest defender in the whole of the Bundesliga. But despite his great height of 6'3", 6'4", not amazing in the air. He only had a success rate of 52.2% last season, but there are a lot of experienced older strikers within the Bundesliga, so that could have something to do with it as well. I'm not overly concerned, but actually you'll see younger players coming through maybe won't dominate in the air as much as centre-backs of years gone by, and that's just down to the way they're developed now. So rules came in a little while back stating that they weren't allowed to partake in heading drills and stuff growing up, coming through youth academies and in youth and grassroots football. So that probably has a little bit to do with it as well, that they don't work on heading anywhere near as much. So by the time they get to senior level football, heading on a regular basis is a bit different to when you're coming up against older, more experienced players. But if you actually look at the stats between him and Tapsoba, they're very, very similar. Tapsoba came out on top on just a few things, like he had more passes per 90 minutes than Van de Ven, but actually Van de Ven has a more successful pass rate. They're similar in the air. Tapsoba just came out on top with not a particularly great result himself. His was only around the 55% mark. So, I mean, they both win just over half their duels, but yeah. So, yeah, it was very similar between them. The reason why this works out a better deal is in the stats, Van de Ven is only very, very slightly overall behind Tapsoba, but he's actually quicker, which in this system I think goes a long, long way to be a little bit quicker. He's also 22, whereas Tapsoba is older. So he's got years on his side to become, by the time he hits the same age Tapsoba is now, hopefully, he will be ahead of him. So investment-wise, I think it's better. And the biggest thing for me is that you can also play left-back. Now, this position is a bit hit and miss for us. Udogi is looking very good in pre-season. We still don't know what's going to happen with Perisic, but it seems when he plays, he's playing further up the field anyway, not as a left-back. Ben Davies can play left-back, but he's covering centre-back at the moment, so it's likely he could end up being the first choice left-back, and then Udogi will probably come in later in games to earn his minutes, and then they will be rotated depending on the team we come up against. But if one of those is to get injured, Van de Ven is your ready-made replacement. And obviously we don't know what's going on with Reguilon. We know that Sessegnon can't go anywhere because of his injury. But in terms of Reguilon, I think he's probably going to be sold. He has made the trip to Barcelona, but we'll see. So yeah, exciting times. Van de Ven in the door, one top centre-back. And then I'm assuming later on in the day we are probably going to hear another announcement, or maybe they will wait until tomorrow for that one. And that will be the under-20 Argentinian international striker that we were speaking about yesterday. Very, very briefly. But I'll wait till he signs before I talk more about him. So yeah, tonight obviously we've got Barcelona. Now, don't read into it too much about the fact that Harry Kane has not travelled with the squad. A lot of people have focused on that today. However, there are a lot of players that have not travelled with the squad that played in the 5-1 game against Shakhtar. And the problem is, because the games are only 2 days apart, even though it's pre-season and you want to ramp up the minutes, with a game then coming on the Sunday, you don't want to push any of these players too far. So expect a fair few of them that played against Shakhtar to not feature in this game. Richarlison should come back into the squad for this, as should Bazuma, after both of them recovered from their slight knocks. And they I would hope, would play at least 70 to 90 minutes because they've got a little bit of time to recover before we play the opening game of the season. So, yeah, obviously I didn't do another video on it last night because it would have been a waste of time. You will be aware that Spurs actually rejected the bid in the end from Bayern Munich from Harry Kane. And it was quite funny because there was a so-called deadline put in place. They offered around 100 million euros, just over that, which equated to about 85, 86 million pounds. Gave us the deadline supposedly of midnight, and then Daniel Levy decided to go on holiday with his family, waited a couple of days, had a little think about it, and then rejected the bid. And that was supposed to be Bayern Munich's last bid, but apparently they are going to try and muster up another bid. So what was that, the last bid or the last bid? I mean, when you're talking about a striker of Harry Kane's quality, I certainly don't think you should ever put a deadline or a last bid. They should, as a club, sensibly be looking at other options all the time. And they should probably put bids in for other players, and if they get them, then you can say to Spurs, look, we've had a bid accepted for this player. You don't have to do the deal just because you've had a bid accepted. There's millions of reasons why a deal could collapse at any point. They could decide that they no longer want to do it. A bid being accepted is not contractually bound. So if I was buying, I would definitely go in for other strikers, bid for them. And if they get accepted, you've then got a stronger hand to play with Spurs and go, look, if you either sell him or we're just going to sign this other striker. And then at least you've made something happen rather than naively waiting right till the end of the window and panic buying a striker that's nowhere near the level of Kane. I mean, they're probably not going to get a striker at Kane's level, but at least they can get a higher caliber striker. I mean, I don't understand why they don't look at someone like a Vlahovic themselves. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. So hopefully I'm coming to you with some more good news either tonight or tomorrow about us signing another player. Then hopefully there'll be links with another top centre-back. And hopefully we can talk about a win over Barcelona with what would be a second string lineup, in my opinion, because we'll see the likes of Porro in the squad, and Richarlison's obviously going to be our backup striker. So yeah, we'll see. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed that one. I want to hear your comments on how excited you are at the signing of Micky van de Ven, and let me know your opinions on what you think between the Tapsoba and Van de Ven debate. Obviously, I've given my opinion today that I think overall Van de Ven is the better signing of the two for the long term. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for sticking around. I have been Kieran from Speaking Spurs. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And until next time, come on you Spurs.